Hi, this is Priya. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate the sample project I've created for my Spring Security Password Encryption tutorial and also give some insights on the implementation. You can find the tutorial link below in the description section. Let's first go ahead and download the project from the link given in the tutorial. Once downloaded, open Eclipse and import the downloaded project as a Maven project. Next step is to set up user tables in MySQL Server. You can use the MySQL queries provided in the tutorial. There are two things to notice here. Here I have used user ID instead of username as foreign key so that it would not be a problem if the username needs to be changed in future. The second thing to notice is I have not placed plain text password in the user table, instead placed an encrypted version of the password. This is very much important. If the database ever gets hacked, all the plain text passwords will be exposed and that would be a great disaster. So passwords must be encrypted with a good hashing algorithm, which must be very hard for anyone to crack. Spring Security supports one of the best password hashing algorithm, which is called bcrypt. You can also use other algorithms with Spring, but I'm just going to stick with bcrypt for now. I use this online bcrypt calculator for converting the passwords to bcrypt encoded hash values. So this has got a calculator section where you can input your password and specify number of rounds, and you can get the hash value on clicking calculate. The higher is the number of rounds, the stronger is the encryption, but also remember, higher number of rounds might slow down the performance. If you don't want to use any online utility, you can also use this utility method provided in the tutorial to generate encrypted passwords. So now let us go ahead and create tables in MySQL Server and fill it with some data to begin with. The password column must be able to accommodate 60 characters because the bcrypt output is always 60 characters. Anything lesser than this would result in an authentication failure. Getting back to the project now, you can see an authentication provider config class with all the authentication related configuration. You have to change details in the data source and provide your MySQL server details such as the URL, username, and password. You can also see a user details service configuration. In my previous tutorial, I did not use this but directly attached the data source to the security configuration. User Details Service is a core interface that loads all user-specific data. Inside this, I have used JDBC DAO implementation, which is the default implementation of User Details Service interface. This implementation assumes a default database schema with two tables, users and authorities. If we are using a different database schema, we have to set the users by username query and authorities by username query to match our database setup. Since we are using user ID as foreign key in our database schema and the default implementation cannot handle that, I'm setting queries to match my database setup here. Let us now see how to add password encoder to the security configuration. Open web security configuration.java. Scroll all the way down to the password encoder bean configuration. I have added a password encoder configuration which just returns an object of bcrypt password encoder. Bcrypt password encoder is nothing but an implementation of password encoder that uses the bcrypt hashing algorithm. You can optionally supply a strength which is called log rounds in bcrypt. The larger the strength parameter, the more work will have to be done to hash the passwords. The default value is 10. Finally, specify the password encoder to be used by the Authentication Manager Builder, and that's it. Let us run the project now. Right-click, Run As, Maven Build, give goals, clean, install, spring-boot, run. Spring Boot bundles everything in an executable var and also starts an embedded Tomcat server for us. Server is started and I'm bringing up the application, hitting localhost 8080. We've got the welcome page. Clicking the link on the welcome page. First, signing in as a non-admin user. I got the access denied page returned. So now signing in as an admin user. I got the welcome message. So we are done. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope it helped you understand password encryption in Spring Security. And I'm coming up with another video on using Spring Data JPA along with Spring Security. So stay subscribed and happy coding.